Paul, Aaron was asked this morning about kind of the lean years before you guys went on this run. He said there was always kind of faith because the team had Sasha Barkov as a guy to kind of build around. When you first took this job or were thinking about it, how much kind of what excited you about the opportunity of getting to coach Barkey and just knowing you had him coming here?
Well, there wouldn't actually, I got to say, I picked the right words for this. Like, there weren't any excitement until you meet him. So you know he's a good player, but until you spend time with these guys, you don't know how they view the game. I mean, watch him play in the playoffs in the 3 years prior, understood, some of his capability, but his willingness then to play possibly a different style of game. You got lots of guys who say, "Hey, this is my game," and this is, and I understand there's some players you almost adapt a little bit to them, but he's very adaptable to his style of play. So that was great. It was. I think it was first phone calls for all of those guys where I thought, well, this is going to be different.
Front right. Paul, Reinhardt, Mikko, Greer, updates on?
Yeah, they're out today.
All three?
All three. They're all day to day. I would expect, hopefully at some point in this series, they'll be able to come back in and play. Mm-hmm. The determination is the three guys that I'm going to put in. Obviously, Boquist is already in, but the three guys that I put in will perform better than those men would tonight.
And I wanted to ask you about Evan Rodriguez. He's one of a few guys who's probably getting chirped for not scoring yet, but 10 assists in the postseason. Seems like since he came back in Game 7, he's found another level. What have you seen from Rodriguez over these last 4 or 5 games?
He is a playoff guy in a different way. Like, for his belief, he led our team in scoring in the final last year. A lot of those were assists. What he excels at is killing plays and creating forward motion, whether it's in your own end of the ice or in the neutral zone, and certainly in the offensive zone. He can knock pucks down. His original positioning is so very good. His read of the plays is so very good that he gets to the defensive need that we have at that moment very quickly, and he's got hands to create that loose puck.
Left side, third row.
We're going back to yesterday's investigation.
Okay. Don't let it go now, boys. Let's run with it.
Marchand revealed that he may have been telling a bit of a frozen fib there about the blizzard, but
he's still angling for a sponsorship.
Yes,
what
he
are you
is.
going with? Okay.
There was a Winnie the Pooh reference this morning and everything. It was out of control. There was a source, though, that said that a pint of cherry graters has disappeared, and I was asked to ask if you know anything about that.
I don't need to, because Bill sends a bunch to the house, even when you're on a diet. I have nothing to do with that. Especially when you've got the right kind of group, I stay kind of far away from the room as I can. No, I don't want to insert myself in there and mess it up. I'm strictly hockey, and then I get out.
Right side.
I had a question about Luostarinen before that. Is it Belinsky's and Sturman, or are you still deciding that?
Correct.
Okay. And will Sturm be at center, or
No.
No. Okay.
Be on the wing.
Luostarinen, you mentioned the other day, outside out, maybe in the West, there's not a lot known about him. What's his value? I know you saw it a couple of years ago when you didn't have him in the final, but just what is his value?
I can describe him as a player. What I'm learning now is you want to be careful about assigning a value in that might be his ceiling, because this kid just keeps getting better and better. He's not a kid. He's a grown man. But the fourth line center in training camp 3 camps ago, but clearly with what we had, a top 9 player, but moves to the wing. So he's a center iceman that plays the wing, which is based on the depth of our team. A lot of times you have guys who come into the league at center, but they have to go to the wing, and at some point they come back to it, or they don't. It just doesn't happen for them. He could come into the wing or into center tomorrow and be fine. But he's just gotten stronger, faster. His reads there's that kind of Barkov, Lundell defensive reads. It's how they come into the game. They're not on the wrong side of the puck, and if they are, you don't need to tell them, because they know it by the time they're coming to the bench. They've figured that out. There's some offense there, and there's certainly, I think some of it's born of quickness. He's gotten faster, and then Anton Lundell's doing the exact same thing that he's doing at the exact same time. So now it gets to be a better line, and then Brad Marchand comes in, and then there's an offensive level in his game that these two hopefully will learn. I don't expect, there's not very many players with Brad's hands. He's got really gifted hands. But now they're just at the right time together, that they can do both. That they are, 2 years ago, in the Boston series and in the Toronto series, in our first two series, we would have a lead in the game, and the other team on the road would switch their match, right? So you would get Pasternak and Marchand or Bergeron, and then or you would get Matthews to come out and play against the Lundell line. Reinhardt was on the right wing, but it turned out to be a really good thing for our team because I had left and right-handed centermen if the puck got iced, and their base foundation game is very safe for the Florida Panthers. But now we're seeing growth, and A2 is maybe the one we didn't expect at first. Anton Lundell, we thought that he scored 18, but Lusty's got some offensive game as well.
Take a few more for Coach. Left side, front row.
Today's game day, you guys are a win away from a third straight trip to the Stanley Cup Finals, but it seems like business as usual with your players, with everybody around here. How hard is that not to take for granted? I mean, obviously you've been through a lot of years where, nowhere near this, and everybody's just treating it like another day.
Well, that's the goal, right? So when they come to the rink, they understand their day. And there are always new things, especially injuries that can kind of take you negatively one way, and then there's the desire to get to the next round that'll take you to another place. As long as you talk about it and you deal with it, then you can kind of almost mitigate energy that you don't understand. Everybody's going to be jacked up for the game tonight. They've got full desperation on their side. We've got full desire on our side, and it's going to manifest itself in the way the game is played. We just want to be able to control how we manifest that. I don't use those exact words, but the idea is the same, and it's not the first time they're going to have heard this speech, and they'll all have a pretty clear idea of what we're talking about.
Right side, second row.
Hey, Paul. Just in the years since you've been coaching, the game has evolved dramatically, but the ingredients that go into winning, have they particularly changed at all? And if they have, what goes into it?
It's a really great question. And things that we have talked about in our room is the game doesn't care who you are. It doesn't care what style of game you play. It doesn't care how much talent you have. It doesn't care how you build. It doesn't care what you've been through. There's a set of things that it demands, and it's not perfect, but if you are the team that does the thing that the game demands of you, you have the best chance of winning. So there's mitigating factors to that, and goaltending is one of them. So you can do all the right things the game demands. So it's not just a matter of how hard you play. The team that plays the hardest usually wins. It's not always, but that's a pretty good factor. And the team that makes the best decisions more likely wins. So that's not dump the puck every time. It's dump the puck when you should, make a play when you should. Easy from the bench, real easy on TV, very, very difficult at ice level at that speed. So those decisions that are made, that and then I think because of then the inconsistencies of the game, and that a goalie can be better than your team some night, little breaks some things. Maybe the biggest is which team handles the adversity that the game is going to present every single night. That's really important. So how you handle your game. Right? That was a 1-1 game after 2 periods last game. That's tight. It's a break either team is up 3-1 after 2, and you can say they earned it. You wouldn't have had to be lucky to get to 3-1 for either team. So had it done that, then how you handle that in the game that you're playing, but also in the overriding game. If you are respectful of what the game demands, it doesn't matter the style of game you play.
2 more questions, back left.
Paul, we know this is a player-led team, and then you mentioned the other night that at some point in the season the bench starts to take over. I'm just curious, at what point this season did you see that, and how important is that here down the stretch in these big moments?
Yeah, there's 2 pieces to that, I think, or maybe 2 stages to that. You go back 3 years ago, it was a game in Toronto when they had just exhausted me. It was theirs. They won that game in overtime on their own, and then it becomes, when you notice it is when you don't have to say much on the bench because the players are calling the game in front of them. And then the second is, where it gets really good, is when they call the game one of 2 ways. They're either screaming it at each other, get it out, get it in, put it on my tape, or they're so respectful of the effort each one has, they're just talking about it. Put that puck inside, not pull your head out of your butt. Put that, there's a different way to communicate the game. So the first level is the players are saying what basically the words that are in your head they're saying, so you don't have to say them. That's way better. And then if they're being hyper respectful of each other, then that means they care about each other at the right level, the level that we're going to need to have a chance.
Last one, all the way to your left.
Hey, Paul. Mikkel has done so many good things for you in these playoffs. I was wondering if you could speak about his being out of the lineup and how that impacts things.
Yeah, well, we would look at it the same way we look at Aaron Ekblad being out. He missed 4 games. It's part of what we do. We're going to miss him. Uwe Spolenskis has been the player that's come in and played exceptionally well. He was a difficult out for me when the decision time came between, kind of 2 defensemen of who was going to play. That was a tough call. Not about whether you're right or not, because they're so close. You're not right or you're not wrong either way. They're close enough. It's just he had played very well for us. So we'll get an excited guy in the lineup. We will miss Nico, like we missed Aaron, like they missed Chatfield. Everybody, we all go through it the same way, but we have players that we think we're excited for. I'm happy for Uvis because he doesn't deserve to be watching hockey games. His play says he deserves to be playing games. So one of those guys gets a piece of it.
Thank you for your time.
Okay, guys.
For Ek, obviously, you guys have been in this position a couple times the last few years. We always say, the last one's the hardest one to get. In your mind, why is the last one so hard? What is maybe the different challenge about going for a closeout like this?
Maybe the desperation of the opposing team. Obviously, when you're in that situation, you're going to bring your best game, and we know that. So it's never easy to be in this situation and close a series out.
On the right side, second row.
Hey, Anton, just wanted to ask you about Lusterainen. He's been getting some points here, but you've been playing for a long time. What about his game maybe that people don't know that stands out to you that makes him so effective?
Yeah, in my opinion, I think he does a lot of things right on the ice, and I think you don't always see that on the score sheet. He plays, very good penalty kill, and he defends well, plays hard, but at the same time, he's very underrated. He's a skill forward, and as we've been seeing lately, he can score some goals and make some plays as well.
Front row on the right.
Aaron, just how have you seen Nico kind of develop as a player since he's arrived here, and apparently develop into a offensive threat too?
Yeah, I don't know how he keeps scoring those goals. They're pretty incredible. I got something to learn from him. So his wingspan, we call him the Condor. It's impressive how he's able to get across the ice with that wingspan and his feet and close gaps quickly and have a great stick. And he does a lot of really, really good things defensively. He can shut down a 2-on-1. It's impressive how well he moves around on the ice. He's got great feet for a big boy. Yeah, I think it was Paul, I thought, but maybe I'm wrong.
Left side, front row.
Anton, I just wanted to add, Aaron's been through some rough times here in Florida. We've well established, gone through that. You, though, this just seems like, this is all you've known are the good things here in Florida with the Panthers. What has it been like just to join a team and just, every year be in the playoffs and all the success that you guys have had must be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. As you said, since I got here, I was lucky to be able to come to a, unbelievable organization, and you could feel it right away. We wanted to win here. Everything we did is for the team to success, and we see the results on the ice. But it's been amazing to be a part of the team and a part of to build the journey here.
Left side, second row.
Only because George brought it up. Do you ever think back to what those first 7 years were like? And did you ever lose hope that this was going to be the type of franchise that does this, that makes playoff runs every year, and that you get to play meaningful games every April and May for now 4 years in a row and counting?
Yeah, well, we've always had Sasha Barkov, so there's always hope, especially in those down years. We always had Barky to lead the way, so no, on a more serious note, yeah, it was tough, right? It was tough times, and it was never easy. We were never that far out of it, but we couldn't get that push. And the way the organizations turn things around from top to bottom, GM ownership buying in and giving us the opportunities and giving us this beautiful rink and all the things that we need to succeed, everyone has really done a fantastic job all the way through.
Left side, second row.
Aaron, this team's balance and depth has been on full display in the playoffs. What does it do for your mentality, maybe that confidence level, especially with the offensive contributions of the defensemen, when you know on any given night it can be somebody different?
Yeah, it's extremely important, right? We're never just reliant on one line or one D group. It's, everyone's doing an amazing job. Contributions from everywhere. Bob's playing incredible. It's really fun to be a part of it, for sure.
Take a couple more for the guys on the right side, second row.
Yeah, this is also for you, Aaron. You go through 3 of these runs, you play through great teams. What makes the difference in winning hockey? What have you learned? What are the key ingredients that gets you over?
It's trust in your game, I think, in any situation. Down 2-0 in a series, down 2-0 in a game, or up 4-1. It's an unwavering commitment to playing the game that we play. You can't change things for any situation. You can't open up your game, and the little details are extremely important. Getting that puck over the blue line in your zone so that they have to dump it back in, putting it in deep every single time. It's really important.
Front right.
Anton, Evan Rodriguez, he's one of, I think, 3 or 4 guys who hasn't scored a goal yet, but we've seen the playmaking ability. We know the skill that he has. What stands out about Evan and just the way that he plays and how he's able to basically fit wherever he's assigned, whatever line he's on, whatever role he has to do? What have you seen over the last couple of years about just Evan Rodriguez's ability to fit in wherever he's needed?
Yeah, I've been very impressed. He's a guy who is ready to step up, whatever the team needs. As you said, he's been playing in pretty much every line this year, and he's been playing well wherever he's been. So he's been a very big part of our team and very important player to step up whenever the team needs him the most.
We'll take one more over here on the right.
This one's for Aaron as well. There's been a lot of talk kind of about your entire career here with Florida. You look at Brad and Seth and they fit in seamlessly, but you watch from afar just in the room and how you guys all interact with each other. It just feels like you guys have so much fun and are so loose. When did you sort of start to see that shift in sort of the aura of your team off the ice? And because, you guys seem like a brotherhood.
Yeah, I don't remember a time where we were ever tight in terms of how we feel, gripping our sticks. We're a tight-knit group, but I don't remember a time where we weren't having fun. Obviously, winning is extremely fun, so maybe that just kind of exacerbates it. But no, for the most part, we're just having fun all the time. There's always chirps flying. Nobody's safe in the room, in a sense. It's just a great atmosphere to be a part of, and I'm sure Lenny can attest to it. It's in terms of never being safe, you're never. Everyone's on an even playing field. Yeah, you can get on anybody anytime.
The way they have been and not take your eye off the ball, so to speak.
Yeah, we've been playing some tight games. I think you have to understand that it's not going to be an easy game tonight. And, one of the biggest things for us is having a good start, because I think we've been much better this series about in our first period than we did in the previous series. So I think that sets up our game, sets up the rest of our forecheck for the rest of the series, and that's what we look forward to tonight.
What have you liked the most about the way you guys have defended overall in the series?
Yeah, I love how our forwards come back, man. They're putting such good pressure on, allows our D to have a tighter gap, and they really drive the bus for us. And if they're skating, it allows our D to get up and be a lot more aggressive, and it really does create a lot more problems for them when our forwards are skating.
You touched on it, but obviously all the defensemen are getting in on the goal scoring. How nice is it to have that freedom, knowing you can take those risks, knowing the forwards have your back?
Yeah, it's the age-old addict, right? Is you can't trust forward, and on this team you can't. You have to. We have to, because of how aggressive that we play. And I think one of the biggest things for our defense group is having the confidence to do that right now. We feel like we have the reloads, we have the guys coming back for us, and that just it just takes that little part of your mind, that part in the back of your mind being like, is somebody watching over me? But no, our guys have been good.
You talked about this team being a player-led team, and you said there's a point in the season when the bench starts to take over. From a player's perspective, just what does that mean, and how important is it, especially this time of year?
Yeah, Paul actually mentioned it to me when I first got here. He said, "Hey, this bench will start to run itself," and I'm just back there having a good time. you see it start to happening over the course of the year. And as a player, you start to realize how important that is because, I mean, the coaches give us a great plan before the game, make our in-game adjustments when we can. But it really comes down to, you know, I don't want to say guys policing each other, but getting that confidence from the group, getting that energy from each other. You know, when you hear the coaches' voices all the time. When you hear the other guys, you know, picking the guys up and getting ready for the next shift, it has a little bit different meaning to it. All right. Go.
We want to keep it the same day, play the same way, and you know, we want to have a good start. I think that's going to be key tonight.
What'd you like about the way that you guys finished that last one? Obviously, running away with Game 3 in the third period.
Yeah, I mean, it was a tight game, and then we finally we broke through. I think we had a lot of good opportunities before that, but obviously it's always fun to score a lot of goals, so that was great.
Do you think that's a key trait this team's been able to develop these last couple of years, a patience in the game, not trying to win it on one shift necessarily?
Yeah. Sometimes less is more. You want to stay in your game plan and don't overdo anything. It's the opportunity is going to come from the simple stuff.
Obviously, you guys have played in so many elimination games on both sides of it the last couple of years. How much does that help not only knowing what to expect from yourselves, but probably knowing what they're going to bring as well?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of emotions in the playoffs, especially games when you can advance. So, you know, we want to keep it the same, calm, composed, and treat it as any playoff game.
Defensively doing a lot, but specifically with Svechnikov, it comes to this series leading goals. I think he only has one shot in this series. What have you guys done right against him here through 3 games, do you think?
Not letting him shoot, for sure. He's got a great shot. He's a great player, and I think we've done a good job of not letting him shoot and you know, stay tight on him with the gaps. And it starts with our forecheck. So yeah, it's been working.
Why is this series so one-sided? I don't think anybody expected it to be this one. Why do you think it is?
Why I think what?
The series has been so one-sided.
I mean, I don't agree totally. I think it's been tight series. I mean, yeah, we scored a lot of goals, but you know, they're a great team, and we're not done here. We got to win one more here.